So I found this book in like 2009, 2010. I was in a thrift store. I looked at the cover and I was like, wow, that's intense. And I just flipped it open, and there was a whole chapter on the subconscious mind. And at the time, I was reading Joseph Murphy's Power of the Subconscious Mind. So I was like, oh, I'll give this one a whirl. And there was a part in it that talked about, well, the whole book is on belief and how much power belief actually has if you keep your mind focused on something. And there's this one part in the book where he talks about this guy that kept writing every time he had a piece of paper come through his hands. He wanted to make a certain amount of money, and he kept writing the same number on the piece of paper every time something came through his hands. He'd write it down and just think about it. He said I had that amount, or he'd say it out loud while writing it. And I was working some low-level job at the time, and I was broke, and I didn't have a dime to my name, so I started writing down. I was like, what would be a good amount of money this time? And at the time, I thought it was $23,000. So I was like, okay, I'm a little nuts, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I keep drilling in your subconscious. I kind of believe that shit. So I kept doing it. I kept writing $23,000, $23,000, $23,000. And I must have done it for months, like 3-4 months, and then I forgot about it. I just completely forgot, just stopped doing it because whatever, I didn't have it. It's about a year later, we were all getting laid off because my company got bought out by another company. And we were throwing out all this stuff because the new company didn't want all these. I worked in a computer warehouse, so I'm not going to name where that was just in case. But we were throwing all this shit out. And, people were asking, hey, do you mind if I take this computer? Can I have this server or whatever? And I was like, oh man, maybe there's something valuable in here. And there was this box of old, dirty processors. I'm not really a computer nerd, but there was a ton of them. So I asked my boss, I'm like, hey, are you guys going to use these old processors? And he's like, I doubt it. You can toss them in the dumpster. And he's like, hold on a second. Let me go ask my boss. So my boss asked his boss, and he's like, yeah, we're not going to do anything with them because they're all dirty and you're not going to be able to reuse them. So I took them home, not knowing anything about computers. I know I had to clean them, so I cleaned them all in a bathtub using some alcohol. And there was something like 260 of them, and I looked one up on eBay, and they were like $90, $100. And I was like, nah. I put them up there as a lot, and I shit you not, somebody offered less, like 10% less, and it ended up I ended up looking at my account, and I had 23 grand in my account. He bought the lot for $23,000, and I'd completely forgotten about this, and I didn't even think about it for like another couple weeks later, but I was just like looking at my bank account, and I had just a little bit over that amount, and then I was just like, wait a second, I pick up this book, and I had my bookmark in there with the $23,000 written on it. So maybe it's just a coincidence, maybe it's not, but either way, it's worth a good read. I don't know.